All right, guys. So when I saw this story right here, I thought that this was out of the Babylon Bee. Okay, I thought this is from the Onion. There's no way that this was real. However, unfortunately, it is real, as the UK is now painting their police cars with rainbow colors to stop quote unquote hate crime against, I guess, the LGBTQ community. And guys, these are one of these events and things that pop up in our society that really is convincing me to take that next Elon Musk rocket ship to Mars, right? I'm hopping on board and I'm going to Mars and we're starting over, okay? Because this society is too far gone, right? Too far gone, okay? Because this right here is just completely unnecessary. And ultimately what it does is it shows that the government has favoritism towards certain groups, right? Where you're not policing real crime anymore. You're policing thoughts and speech, right? You're policing thoughts and speech. This is important because a lot of times, you know, when stuff starts in the UK and Europe, they're definitely more socially left than we are. It trickles down to America because the woke revolutionaries in America, they swear up and down that they want to be like Europe, right? They want us to be like Europe. So, you know, when this stuff is implemented in Europe, that means that it's not that far away from coming to America. I mean, we're already seeing our embassies flying the pride flag. And again, I just want to make it clear. Again, I'm not for any type of discrimination or crime or anything like that being committed against any type of marginalized groups. What? Not even just anybody, right? I'm just against that stuff for anybody. But again, it just rubs me the wrong way when favoritism is being shown to a special group of people by the government, right? By a government body, even if it's in the UK, okay? Because again, a lot of times that trickles over to the United States. But let's read here. Police are replacing patrol cars with hate crime cars to encourage people to report incidents such as social media comments. Social media comments, right? So you got stabbings and killings and robbings and all this stuff, right, out here that's going on that police should be concerned about, okay, that affects everybody. But they want to focus on social media comments. God, you can't make this up. Deputy Chief Constable Julie Cooke said that the cars painted with the police insignia and rainbow designs are now part of a vehicle fleet and will be driven daily by officers on patrol. However, critics have said that the forces should instead focus on policing real issues such as knife crime and rape, with the latest figures showing poor prosecution rates. I agree. Guys, can you imagine being an officer that's assigned to ride around in the rainbow flag police car, right? Do you think that any criminal is gonna take you serious as an officer, right? Like, bro, they gonna laugh at you when you pull up, okay? They gonna laugh, okay? It's almost like, again, it's becoming a joke, okay? Ms. Cooke, the National Police Chiefs Council lead on LGBTQ issues, released a video on his Instagram account explaining why police have rainbow vehicles, describing them as hate crime cars. She said that forces are always replacing vehicles and they get the police insignia. And, quote, there will normally be then something added on that is to do with the rainbow side of things. A spokesperson for the NPCC said they did not have figures on how many had been painted, as forces operate independently and it is up to the individual forces how many cars they want to convert. All right, so let's watch this video.
The rainbow cars, the hate crime cars, whatever we want to call them, they are part of our vehicle fleet. So, you know, we're always replacing vehicles. They get all of the police sort of insignia put on them as normal, but there will normally be then something added on that is to do with the rainbow side of things. But they're out there as normal patrol vehicles. Sometimes people will ask us, how can you afford to do that? You know, that's not right to spend money on putting a rainbow on a car. Well, actually, the cost is quite minimal, but the confidence that it can bring by just having that rainbow on there. And people say to me, you know, the impact of seeing the rainbow is so huge. And the idea is that the cars are there in the communities, generally on normal policing patrol, just again to show the community that we want you to come forward. If something is happening that you know isn't right, then we absolutely want you to come forward. So it is there to try and give confidence to our LGBT+ community, but also to other underrepresented groups.
So you want people to come forward to report crimes, right? And I 100% understand that. But I don't know how painting a flag on the car is going to make them more motivated to come forward, when you would think that just having a crime committed against them in general would motivate them to come forward. Unless the crimes that are being committed are, you know, petty things like social media comments, which is what it seems like they're really concerned about, right? It seems to be more concerned about policing thoughts and speech rather than actual violence. Because if somebody commits an act of actual violence against somebody, they're going to go report it to the police for the most part, right? You don't need a flag for extra motivation, right? So while you're driving this police car around with this rainbow flag, talking about what we want to, you know, instill confidence in underrepresented groups, well, what about everybody else, right? How is this instill confidence in people outside those groups that the police are actually going to be using their resources efficiently to fight real crime? Matter of fact, what it does is it actually makes people question the police and whether or not they're actually doing their jobs and whether or not they're actually focused on the things they should be focused on. That's what it actually does. It makes it so less people have confidence in the police. It really does. Because I don't know, man. I feel like if my local police was riding around in rainbow flag cars, I would have some serious questions about what the hell are you guys worried about? You know, dude getting murdered left and right. Okay, and this is what y'all worried about? All right, so this is just a summary of what she said here. The number of hate crimes reported to police have more than doubled in recent years, with allegations of transgender hate crime seeing the sharpest rise. However, cash-strapped forces across the country have faced criticism for focusing on the allegations, a large number of which stem from social media comments. Even where a crime has not been committed, the police record the allegation as a hate incident, which could show up on a person's criminal record check. So essentially, if you say something mean to somebody on social media, you can get charged with hate crime. That's what it seems like in the UK. Harry Miller, a former police officer and founder of campaign group Fair Cop, said, quote, "We don't see the Met with special cars for knife crime, even though the number of stabbings in London is appalling. Quote, the problem is that the second that you see a rainbow car, you know that it is a police force that has made up its mind about some very contentious issues. You no longer see a police car or police officer who is there to support everyone from all political persuasions without fear or favor." Exactly. Exactly. Okay. First of all, again, you don't see special cars for crimes that I would deem as much more serious than things that people post on social media, right? You don't see special cars for that, but you see a special car for something that, again, it's an issue that mainly happens on social media. That's what it seems to be the focus. It's kind of crazy. And again, when you see a car like that riding through your neighborhood, it is inherently politically divisive, right? Because you already know that, okay, this police force has made up their mind about how they feel about certain issues, right? Issues that, again, are divisive. They have literally tied their colors to the mast and painted their cars with their political leanings. They are painting rainbows on their cars when we have figures to show that only 7% of violent crime in prosecution. They have moved from policing crime to policing thoughts and speech because it is easier. Deputy Chief Constable Mark Hamilton, who leads on hate crime for the NPCC, said the responses for hate crime was a key priority after the inquiry into the murder of Stephen Lawrence, and they have a legal duty to protect victims under the Human Rights and Equalities Act. Tackling hate crime is a priority for policing. However, it does not detract from the service to victims of other crime types, and anyone who has been a victim of a crime should report it to the police, he said. I can't tell, right? I can't tell, considering how, again, I mean, according to this right here, you know, only 7% of violent crime ends in prosecution. So it seems like you should be focused more on that, which affects everybody, right, than this other issue. And I'm not saying hate crime is not serious. Obviously, that's serious, right? But if you're defining that as social media comments, particularly comments that, you know, are not, you know, a threat of violence or not anything like that, it's just people expressing their opinions about a certain issue, then that's an issue, right? That right there, again, it means that your priorities are a lot out of line. Again, that's not to say they shouldn't police that. That's not to say they shouldn't protect the LGBTQ community, right? But a part of protecting that community is protecting everybody equally, okay? And this is what I talk about. There are people that say they want, you know, equality, but to me, it seems like their definition of equality means having special rights and privileges. When equality is having a police car, right, that does not have special political messages on it, that is there to enforce the law equally for everybody, right? To make sure that the LGBTQ community, they're getting the policing, right, and justice that they deserve, right, and everybody else as well too. Okay, that's what equality actually is. Equality is not showing favoritism towards a certain group of people, okay, just to make political statements. That's not equality, right? Early interventions such as responding to hate crime is also one of the most effective actions to reduce the escalation of violent crime and community tensions. Again, I'm not saying I disagree with that. I agree with that statement. Again, it's just priorities is my real question here. What are you really prioritizing? Because again, social media comments, you're policing thought and speech, right? You need to really be focused on things that actually pose a danger to people, right? Anybody can get on social media and say anything, okay? And again, it's not right to threaten people, right? I don't condone any threats of violence or anything like that. But again, if it's, again, not a threat of violence, then, you know, hey, you know, that's free speech, right? It's free speech. And to me, again, it's a slippery slope when you get into trying to police those things just for the sake of doing it. So, like I said, man, this is happening in the UK. Would not be surprised if this eventually reached America. It probably will, to be quite honest with you guys. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.